used to be the single worst predictor that I knew. The single worst. When I was on UFC Tonight, they used to make us give a prediction. And at the end of the year, my boss, Steve Becker, comes up to me and says, hey, I just want to thank you for all your predictions over the year. And I'm thinking, well, that's a weird thing to say because I'm terrible at it. I don't know why I'm so bad, but I am. And he said, no, I listen to you every single week, and I just made a disciplined play that whatever you said, I bet the opposite, blindly. Didn't even think about it, bet the opposite. Said I had a really good year. And he wasn't kidding. And my own mother would give me a hard time, say, you're supposed to know this sport. Why can't you pick a fight right? And I don't know. I don't know. But then I got on a hot streak. And I've been really hot lately. And this last week was a bit of a mixed review. Now, I thought Brock was going to get destroyed. My analysis is fair. Brock's terrible. Brock's always been terrible. But he's also very effective. He's always been very effective. He knows how to compete. He understands rounds. He understands point systems. He's a good competitor. When he gets tired, he manages his energy well. His skills suck. He's got a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. To put that in perspective for you guys, you start with a white belt. On day one, they hand you a white belt. The next belt is a blue. He just got his blue. He's also got a 12-pound gold belt that says he's the best fighter in the world for a period of time. I definitely underestimated him as an athlete. And he came in and he took care of business against Mark Hunt. I had that one wrong. I thought Frankie was going to win. A lot of that was hope, though. I didn't tell anybody to bet on that. I just said, I think Frankie can win. I think he's better now than the first time they fought, and I thought Frankie won the first time. That was just my opinion of the things. But I did call a couple. I said, watch out. I said, Misha's in big trouble. She's likely not only to lose, she's likely to lose in the first round. That was my official prediction there. And then above everything, I did take Eddie Alvarez. And I've got all the respect for RDA. But RDA comes out and he storms guys. He brings an absolute hurricane, and usually there's nobody left standing. He usually overwhelms his opponent, puts his foot on that gas, empties the tank, and then the other guy's gone. And my analysis was nobody's going to do that to Eddie. It's not going to happen. It has never happened. Eddie and I came up together, trying to get to the UFC. We were fighting together on all sorts of cards. We were in Russia and Costa Rica and Canada. We fought for a guy that owned a company called Bodog, and they were out of Vancouver, Canada. But he took the show all over the world. And I remember the guys that Eddie would beat, and I remember how we would beat him. And Eddie was the face of the company back then. In fact, they even took a show to his hometown in Pennsylvania. And Eddie was the face, and so they would always bring him a UFC veteran as an opponent. Aaron Riley comes to mind. They'd always give him a veteran, though. Somebody that had been to the UFC. They tried to get him Matt Hughes. They almost had Matt Hughes. Matt Hughes used that offer to renegotiate with Dana. But that was what Miguel, who was the matchmaker, who was kind of running the organization back then, that was how good he saw that Eddie was. And Eddie would not only beat these guys, he'd beat them in the first round. Nobody kicked Eddie's ass. And even the fights that Eddie lost over his whole career, they were tit for tat. And they would go to a decision, and maybe it wouldn't go his way. But nobody comes out and runs over Eddie Alvarez. I just thought, well, I don't know if RDA can hold up in the later rounds. Now, I've never seen RDA fade. That was the problem with my analysis. Is even though he brings a big storm and the guy's not there standing for more than 2 or 3 minutes, I've also never seen him fade when the fights do go into those later rounds. But that's what I predicted, and I thought, I think he's going to come out, he's going to storm him, and Eddie's still going to be there. I got that one right. I got that right. I got the Misha upset right. I had an all right week.
Cool kids smoking weed in the hallway. I write music and play Skyrim all day. I hunt dragons, so if you start talking how you fly, then I hunt rappers. Here's my nuts.